Well, we hope you all had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. It was a solemn weekend for President Obama. On Sunday, he toured the tornado damage in Oklahoma. Yesterday, he laid a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown in Arlington, and today he returned to the Jersey Shore to check out recovery efforts 7 months after Superstorm Sandy.
Well, I'm thrilled at the progress we've made in the last 7 months. And we got a chance to show the president some of that earlier today up in Point Pleasant.
Last week, my advisors asked me, they said, Mr. President, do you want to spend next Tuesday in Washington, or would you rather spend at the Jersey Shore? And I've got to say, I've got to make some tough decisions as president, but this wasn't one of them.
The presidency, it must go on. Despite the 3 big scandals rocking the administration with Congress in recess, the White House certainly could use this week to shift focus away from them. Chief of Staff Dennis McDonough has reportedly advised staffers to spend no more than 10% of their time on the controversies. But Face the Nation host Bob Schieffer has this advice for the administration.
The president needs to rethink his entire communications policy, top to bottom. It is hurting his credibility and shortchanging the public.
Okay, so we're going to kick this around. First of all, Eric, so President Obama goes to Jersey Shore. One of the things that, if I were Governor Christie, I would like about that is that the tourism industry is a $40 billion business, and they're trying to make sure that everybody knows we're open for business here in Sandy, but it certainly works in President Obama's favor as well.
Yeah, I think it was interestingly timed visit to the Jersey Shore. Look, I get it. In fact, after the tornadoes in Oklahoma, we said, well, what do you think? He's going to get there by the weekend? And we said, oh, maybe Memorial Day weekend, that'd be a good time for him to hit Oklahoma. Sure enough, he did. I'm not sure that, well, I'm pretty sure that he made that spin around the Jersey Shore to kind of get people's attention off the 3 scandals. But let me remind you, there's Benghazi, there's the IRS, and there's the Department of Justice phone scandals going on right now. So let's keep it in the news and say, okay, President Obama, thanks. I'm a Jersey resident. That's my governor. All right, great. You did it. You did your thing. Let's get back to the scandals.
Bob, every administration, when you're under the gun, you try to just make it look like everything's fine here, nothing to see, moving on, because you have to do things. But what were you hearing over the weekend from your people?
Well, first of all, from my peeps, first of all, it is not at all unusual for a president to do what he did. I mean, going to Oklahoma, and he was eloquent, I thought. And the Jersey Shore does depend on a lot of revenue in those 3 months. So I think he did.
So what does Obama, I'm sorry to interrupt you, I shouldn't do that, but what does Obama going to Jersey Shore have anything to do with the Jersey Shore revenue?
Well, because I think it does, the megaphone says that we're open for business. But having said that, look, was it conveniently timed at Memorial Day? Yes. Was it his fault that Memorial Day was scheduled the way it was? It is what it is. And I think he did a good job as president. And look, these scandals are not going to go away. They're going to be around for you to pick on them next week.
Well, Andrew, let me get your take on this, because President Obama also went to Oklahoma, which was the site of the big tornado that happened just last Monday, just a week ago. Listen to him here.
Whenever I come to an area that's been devastated by some natural disaster like this, I want to make sure everybody understands I'm speaking on behalf of the entire country. Fellow Americans are praying with you, they're thinking about you, and they want to help. And so I'm just a messenger here today, letting everybody here know that you are not alone.
So effective? What do you think?
I think it is effective. He has made a decision. It appears that he wants to stand with victims, and they are victims in Oklahoma. They are victims in New Jersey to what happened to them. Over the weekend, he also talked about military rape. I thought it was not the timing or the place to do it at a commencement, but he wanted to stand with the victims of that issue. However, there are victims in the 3 scandals, the conservative groups, James Rosen, the Associated Press, and, of course, the families of the Benghazi fallen. So I do think he's trying to just distract, hope that this story goes away. He was in a blue state with a governor who is very popular. Chris Christie is very popular. And it allows him to say, I'm here. I helped fix this. I stood shoulder to shoulder with Chris Christie. And look, Chris Christie, you're right. He ran ads all this weekend at the Jersey Shore. We're stronger than the storm. It's a great way for him to highlight the job he has done as well. So it's mutually beneficial there.
But let's get Greg's take, because one of the things you think is ridiculous is the question of whether or not this will hurt or help Governor Christie if there's, in fact, any sort of future political ambition.
Well, first, I got to hand it to President Obama, because even when he's working, he's at the beach. That's pretty smart. But yeah, I think it's the story about whether it hurts or helps is, I feel like, a story that the left likes, because it makes the right seem petty. But I will say this. There is a tendency for Christie to come as a bit starstruck. And not just with Obama, but if you remember, he was a giddy schoolgirl around Springsteen. Whenever Springsteen showed up, he just fluttered. I mean, it was like to him, Justin Bieber. I'm like that around the Osmonds. But I'm not running for president. And I think you don't want a president who just gets weak in the knees when somebody of great star power is there. But I think...
like George Clooney?
Yes, exactly.
Like
oh,
that.
good for you.
Yes. Let's go. Can we move on?